An Air Canada plane, just like ours. So here's Heidi settling into her seat, ready for her flight to Montreal. This is nice. We almost have the plane to ourselves.
The journey begins at Heathrow, and from here we fly over Ireland, over the vast Atlantic Ocean, until we reach the east coast of Canada. And from there we fly along the St. Lawrence Seaway until we arrive at Montreal.
From Montreal Airport, we hire this rather cute car. This is at the top of Montreal, where the city took its name. Grey squirrel, Canadian style. An aerial view of Montreal. Taken from the hospital of all places. Oh well, you've got to find your spot. There's St. Lawrence River in the background. Chinatown in Montreal. This is a bright, sunny morning at Dorchester Square. From Dorchester Square, this is looking at classic Canada. The old cathedral. Something very modern. This is part of the underground city. It is said that you could completely live down here and never have to go to the surface because everything you require is here. Well, here's everything that I require. Among the 19 miles of well-lit boutique-lined passages, it includes more than 1,600 shops, 200 restaurants, hotels, films, theatres and concert halls. This particular part they call the Eaton Centre and reminds us a little bit of what we saw in Toronto. Montreal's underground system. The old and cranky. And as Heidi would say, the new and swanky. This is Notre Dame. He doesn't look quite so fearsome with a pigeon stuck on top of his head. Him neither. The Hotel de Ville. This is the rear view of the Hotel de Ville. and the Palace of Justice. This is Chateau Ramsay, which provided a very interesting background to local history. Wow, the police are out in force today on their bikes. Some nice old houses, just round the corner from the hotel.
Now comes the time to move on. After leaving Montreal, we travel along the north side of the St. Lawrence River to Quebec City, a World Heritage Site, and then forward to Tadoussac, where we view Wales, taking on our way various quaint small villages and the Grand Gardens Quebec Park. It's then time to take a ferry across the river to the south side, travel along the coast through the Chic-Choc Mountains, round the Gaspé Peninsula, until we reach the borders of New Brunswick. We have now arrived at the Gulf of St. Lawrence, where we hug the coastline down as far as Moncton. From Moncton, we enter the area of the Bay of Fundy, where we visit the National Park and go on as far as St. John. It's then a case of driving north through Fredericton until we again reach the St. Lawrence River. This time we're on the south side, and then travel southwest through the southern suburbs of Quebec City until we return to Montreal, and then to the airport and our flight home.
The St. Lawrence, just a few miles south of Three Rivers. So vast, some parts you just can't even see across. Some lovely autumn colours. Quebec City in the rain.
Exemple, est-ce que vous avez vu peut-être ça s'appelle Gaspé en français?
Oh no, this is a good one. Oh yeah, yeah.
The sun comes to Quebec City. The Basilica at Quebec. The Basilica. From the Dufferin Terrace, we have lovely views of the Hotel Frontenac, the mountains that appear in the background, the St. Lawrence Seaway, or at least a part of it, and the port, Orleans Island, which is just over the back there.
There's a nice colourful spot.
And the old fort up on the hill. The old fort on top of the hill, started by the French, finished by the British in order to keep out the Americans, who never came. This is the Immaculate Conception Chapel. Below the church. Snow geese.
already getting the luggage out, so we can spend the night here. And from here we have this view of the lovely St. Lawrence River in this beautiful sheltered bay. Doesn't get much better than this.
The Grand Jardine National Park.
This is a view of Tadoussac, where the Saguenay River flows into the St. Lawrence. This area attracts a lot of whales due to the vast amount of plankton that grows here. So we head off into the river to look at minke, beluga and fin whales. A curious seal.
Prenez vos photos, elle n'est pas plongée. Quand elle va plonger, elle va se donner un peu comme un élan. On va voir le bout de son museau, puis là, elle va arquer le dos. Il y en a deux qui viennent vers nous sur les 10 heures en passant. Mais pour la photo, je vous conseille sur les 3 heures, d'accord? La lumière est plus belle. Et sur les 10 heures, on les voit bien arriver. Hein? Oh, wow! Et là, on est déchiré entre 9 heures et 3 heures. That's amazing at 9 o'clock also. Very close. Et rapide, c'est la 9 heures. Il y en a deux, en fait, à 9 heures. Ça plonge. Prenez votre photo ici à 3 heures. Oui! Parti en plongée. À 1 heure, ouvrez l'œil ou 1 o'clock. Le dos est bien arqué. Hey, ça, c'est d'autres baleines qui viennent d'arriver. Other fin whales, if you want to know.
A little beach at Saint-Simon.
This is our little ferry that takes us across the St. Lawrence River to the south side. Aboard the ferry, viewing the vastness of the St. Lawrence River.
Still several hundred miles from the sea.
We've moved on to St Anne-de-Mont, and we found this lovely little room at the Motel Brumanti. And here's Heidi, getting used to the idea of staying here for a night, right by the St Lawrence River.
Heidi, and a walk in the park.
We enter the national park in the heart of the Gaspé Peninsula, where we take a 2-hour walk to Mont Ernest-la-Force, and there we are rewarded with these splendid views of the Chic-Choc Mountains.
Wifey, up in the mountains.
Despite our best endeavours, this is the nearest we've come to finding a moose.
But then, later in the day,
Are you admiring the scenery, Heidi?
Yes, very much.
Let's have a look.
we've moved on to the very tip of the Gaspé Peninsula at Percy. A semi-palmated plover and a gannet. A bufflehead getting tossed around in the waves. We've now entered New Brunswick, where we visit an Acadian historical village, just outside Caraquet.
This is the blacksmith's shop.
that's that is for, you know. Let's say we want it's for business cards, and it works like this. See? I have good legs. Yeah, here. But we need to put the printing inside, the letters.
This is the flour mill. The local school and chapel.
Feeding time for the harbour seals at the Shippigan Aquarium.
Oui, mais ça, toute la famille, il le page ici. Ouais, il s'en va dans l'eau, il va. Ouais.
Pas de problème, on va mettre ça là.
This is Cape Enrage and the Chignecto Bay.
Ah, some rock ptarmigan.
This is St John. It's no problem with the cold climate here in St John. You can do all your shopping in complete comfort. And this is the lovely St John City Market. Right in the middle of town, here's this house built in 1810 on top of a rock. Part of the Bay of Fundy. This is at St Andrews on Sea, and we're on a boat here. And we're just about to go out whale watching. Oh dear. Are you driving today, Mrs. Murray?
Oh my God.
These are humpbacked whales, so called due to the hump that appears on their dorsal fin.
You look up in the sky. It's not Superman, but it's a bald eagle. You look up, he's just blowing up. The bald eagle there. Wide wingspan.
St. Cross Island in the middle. Just outside St. Andrews. On the way out to St. Stephen. This is Fredericton. A snip at £20,000. On the road to Edmondson. With the lovely St. John River running through. This is Heartland and the covered bridge, reported to be the longest covered bridge in the world. Further views of St. Lawrence, with the tide out, but we think just coming in. Interestingly enough, on this side of the river, there's a lot less build-up of houses. It seems to be mainly agricultural, but there's a lot more free space here. A typical church from this part of Quebec. Nice little place here for sale. There's St. Lawrence on the incoming tide.
This is now the last day of our holiday, and we spend some time relaxing in the sunshine on the south shores of the St. Lawrence River.
And here we have just thousands upon thousands of snow geese.
These snow geese stop here for about 2 to 3 weeks on their migration from the Arctic down to the Carolinas in the USA, where they have a rest, feed and prepare for the further journey. This is now the end of our holiday in Canada, and it's time to head back to Montreal Airport and the flight home. I hope you've enjoyed the film.